I have been drawing plants from the Amaryllis family for a while now, and after 17 pages of botanical illustrations, I've decided to conclude these studies. While there are many other beautiful flowers in the family, I feel I have captured most of the ones I liked best. The Amaryllis family contains about 1,600 species divided into 71 genera, so it was truly impossible to draw every species for me. I had to make selections. I looked at each genus and decided which studies to include on a page. Some pages focuses on a single genus like the snowdrops, which ended up being one of my favorite pages in the collection. Other pages were based on a common name. For example, snowflakes is a common name given to two different genera. There were some genera I knew a lot about, such as allium, which is made up of many culinary plants we use daily, like onions and garlic. I also drew very commonly known flowers like the narcissus. These were fun to draw because daffodils come in so many different shapes and colors, and even though I couldn't draw every species, the page was filled with a great variety of forms. Another example, the amaryllis flowers, which give their name to the family, are truly beautiful and inspirational. I was initially confused because some flowers from the Hippeastrum genus are also commonly called amaryllis, and I had to correct some of the pages after making mistakes. So it was a long ride, but I ended up learning a lot from all these species. I'm not doing this for scientific research. Instead, I just wanted a fun project where I believe my visual library would improve and I get to learn about lots of different plants and develop a better sense of shape design and color combinations by studying these flowers. Some of the flowers were really challenging to draw because in the Amaryllis family, it is a repeating pattern that many species have flowers gathered together in umbels, creating very complex forms. When looking at reference images, it was really hard to understand where one flower head started and ended, especially when many flower heads overlapped. In some cases, like this example here, the stamens are very long and create their own shape similar to the web or arms of a spider, which is why this species is commonly called a red spider lily. Another common name for the same flower is the red magic lily. I don't know how that name came to be, but when I look at a flower shaped like this, I can understand it because it looks magical enough. It is not a typical flower shape. Many flowers in the Amaryllis family, like the nerine species I recently studied, are commonly referred to as lilies, such as the Gersony lily or spider lily, despite not belonging to the true lily family. I've observed that the term lily acts less as a strict botanical classification and more as a general symbol of floral beauty and grace shared across numerous unrelated plant families. This common naming practice can be confusing, but it highlights how the word has become a cultural shorthand for an elegant, often trumpet-shaped bloom. When it's a daylily or a calla lily or one of the many plants in the Amaryllis family, the name lily universally evokes an image of a simple, striking elegance that continues to inspire artists and designers. This flower, which I'm drawing here, is commonly known as a resurrection lily or surprise lily. It's sometimes even called a naked lady, a name it shares with the Amaryllis belladonna species. For someone like me who isn't a biologist, it's easy to get confused, and I imagine it must be difficult even for scientists to identify species that look so similar. Many flowers in the family present a captivating blend of geometry and grace. In this example, the most distinguishing feature of the flower is the deep, pendulous bell shape. The tepals are relatively uniform, creating a symmetrical tubular or chalice-like structure that gently flares at the rim, and the color transition typically from a vibrant red or orange near the tips to a greenish-yellow base enhances the visual flow and depth. The flower's bell shape combined with the way the flowers are clustered, often in drooping umbels like many other species from the Amaryllis family, the slight downward curve of the individual blooms and the way the tepals gently flare out create a visual echo of delicate layered fabric. This form makes them look wonderfully like tiny fairy skirts or petticoats, giving the entire plant an enchanting, whimsical quality that easy to translate into imaginative character or costume designs. And yet, not all flowers in the Amaryllis family are defined by complex umbels or elongated forms. Some species, like the spring star or spring starflower genus, they offer a more cleaner, simpler aesthetic. These flowers present a simple six-pointed star-like blooms in the thin stems. Their geometry is straightforward and graphic, making them excellent studies from streamlined illustration or modern design motifs. This contrast highlights the impressive morphological diversity within the family, showing that while some species embrace complexity and density, others stand out with a quiet, elegant simplicity. And I was also drawn to many lesser-known species. Like this example here, Miercia humilis, I wasn't able to find much information about it, even its Wikipedia page only had a reference image. I was immediately drawn to it because it added variety to the pages of Amaryllis flowers, and I wanted to illustrate it. The flower presents an elegant, pendulous bell shape with 6 uniform tepals forming a delicate structure. Its form balances clean geometry with an organic touch. It is still star-shaped, but I think it stands out when compared to its relatives, achieving this distinction without relying on flashy colors. The Amaryllis family is not limited to a single color palette. On the contrary, it boasts a remarkable diversity of hues that makes it a favorite among gardeners. While many species are known for their cheerful yellows and whites of daffodils and snowdrops, the family also includes vibrant spectrums of color. For instance, the nerine species offer striking shades of pink and deep crimson. The true Amaryllis, Amaryllis belladonna, ranges from soft pink to magenta, and the Zephyrantes, rain lilies, bloom in clear whites, pinks, and yellows. This color variation provides a rich resource for designers, showing how a single botanical family can achieve dramatic visual impact across a wide range of colors, from the subdued elegance of white blooms to the fiery intensity of deep reds and oranges. This example here is notable for its vibrant yellow to golden flowers, adding another bold splash of color to the Amaryllis palette. This is why these flowers, often referred to as fire lilies or flame lilies. One of the different species that highlights the unique morphology within the Amaryllis family is Worslea, commonly known as the Empress of Brazil. Unlike the many ground-hugging bulbs in the family, this species is defined by its strikingly tall, urn-shaped bulb and a magnificent fountain of blue to lavender flowers. Where daffodils boast a prominent trumpet and rain lilies offer small upward-facing stars, the Worslea presents large, showy, almost spider-like tepals on an arching stem. This dramatic departure from the compact umbels or delicate clusters seen in many of its relatives emphasize the incredible visual and structural diversity the family holds, demonstrating that a common lineage can give rise to wildly different botanical silhouettes. These flowers I'm trying to draw here are known as the paintbrush or fireball lily or sometimes blood lily. They offer a dramatic departure from the typical Amaryllis family structure. Unlike the delicate pendulous flowers commonly in the family, these species produce dense spherical clusters of brilliant red or orange flowers on tall stems. Their common names are derived from this unique dense umbel. The cluster of flowers resembles an exploding fireball or a bright, dense painter's brush, making them visually distinct and highly ornamental. And there are some different similar examples in the family which also share similar common names. I concluded my studies of the Amaryllis family with a final page dedicated to Glory of the Sunflowers. These flowers presented the more typical, clean, star-like structure of the family. Having already drawn so many star-shaped flowers, my focus for this page shifted from the shape to capturing the diverse color variations offered by different Glory of the Sun species. Therefore, I drew 4 top-down views of the flower heads, concentrating on exploring their distinct color palettes. The Glory of the Sunflowers present a truly ethereal sight. They are native primarily to Chile's sunny, dry landscapes. Their star-shaped blooms are a study in delicate color and clean geometry, opening into an enchanting palette of soft lilacs, gentle blues, and creamy whites. This subtle color shift is often highlighted by a vivid central eye, adding depth and contrast to the otherwise light, airy structure. The overall effect is one of quiet sophistication, making them stand out as ornamental gems in any garden, and an inspiring subject for artists interested in color harmony and botanical elegance. So for me, this was a deep dive into the Amaryllis family. It was a chapter in my botanical studies. After 17 pages of drawings, I feel I've achieved my main objective to fundamentally improve my visual library and my understanding of organic structure. The diversity from the subtle geometry of the snowdrop to the architectural complexity of the allium umbels, it has been a course in natural design and botanical illustration for me. While it's tempting to continue, I need to move on to other families. I think I still have a lot to learn, and working within the same family, while this one had variety, it starts to get repetitive at one point, and I will be working on other families which will be also similar, like lilies, for example. So I'm trying to balance these studies, but most of the time I don't really know what I'm doing because there are countless other species, and sometimes I don't know how I will be ending this botanical journey. And the next phase of this, sometime in the future, I must focus on translating this accumulated knowledge into my original projects using the learned logic and design patterns of real flora to create something new maybe. I look forward to taking the next step and using this visual archive as the foundation for maybe fantastical ecosystems, but I'm not sure I'm ready for that, so I will try to keep up with these illustrations and see you in my next species study.